Hey everybody, this is Herschel Fromm from High School Top 200. This Otago Boys 2016 review is brought to you by Fineline Barbers. What Vinnie has done is that him and Fineline Barbers have joined up with some major barbering suppliers and some other supporting companies, and they have put together an Aotearoa barber competition. Now, this barber competition is set up for one day, where all barbers from around the country can come and compete at the Aotearoa barber competition to find out who's got the best style, who's got the best fades, who's got the best cuts, and everything like that. And this is to sort of bring the industry to light and to show the craft and the skills that our barbers have around the country. For a lot of you out there, like myself, I love going to a good barber. I like trying to get faded and to sort of sharpen yourself up. Makes you feel good and comfortable and confident and all that kind of stuff. And so what they've done is that they've done this competition so that it can bring to light the industry and to get more of these guys out there and recognized. Look out for the Facebook page and Instagram page that Vinnie and them will set up. What you can do is that you can get to know all your barbers from around the country, and the barbers can put all their work onto this Facebook page and Instagram page so that it's for all of us to see. The best thing about that is if you're following someone, following a barber throughout the year, you can actually get your hair cut by them on this day at this barbering competition. It's also good for, as well as for the competition, it's also good for barbers to come up here and be able to meet with suppliers and vendors that are going to be here, and just to broaden and open up their network a bit and to get everybody active within this industry. We want it to be recognized, we want it to be out there, so hopefully there's some barbers down there in Otago and in Dunedin, deep in Dunedin, and they can see this and also come up and join into the competition as well and show us what you got. Otago Boys. Otago Boys is a powerhouse. Otago Boys is exactly what everybody sort of wants to be, and they want to beat, and they want to compete against, and they never fail to be a strong team. Like even this year, even though they didn't make it to the top four, it's not like they didn't have a strong team. They did, and they proved it too. They had some really strong players. They had, they had their fair share of. Think about with Ricky Jackson, Tim Hogan, and also Sam Dixon, all making rep honours this year with the New Zealand secondary schools and also the Barbarians. I think if Sione was up to it and he wasn't injured, he probably would have been there as well. And then they even had other guys that could have probably made it too. I mean, like Issy was probably another one that could have made it, maybe as a 6 or an 8. He was also really good. George Thomas was also a standout talent, and James Holland got better throughout the year as well. And so, like, there's always a lot of talent that comes out of that school, and it's always like a good school to go down and beat. I think if I was at school and I beat someone like Otago Boys, that will be like a highlight of my year because of how good they are from year to year. This year, and they are just like Southland Boys, where they played in the Colts competition under 19s, and both of them ended up around middle order. Southland, I think they finished like 5th or something like that throughout the competition. That competition, and Otago finished somewhere around 8th or something like that anyway. But yeah, they had their ups and downs. I guess going from first 15 rugby into the Colts rugby is a bit different in who you play and things like that. But like I said with the Southland Boys one, like I would rather just be playing first 15. It's just one of those things. But I had this year for them, their best win for me in terms of first 15 was against Southland, even though they got beat the first time, and then they came back the second time and basically turned around the points, and so that was like their best win. That was like one of their best wins. I think their best win came against Christ College, just really shutting them down, and it was a surprise, man. Like because Christ College was was a huge team this year in terms of where they came from, the way that they've developed them, as well as even their structure of play had changed. Like they've just taught them a whole bunch of things and they've put it together. And they did a really good coaching jobs on Christ, and then Otago just blew them out and made them seem like they went back to the old Christ College where they were just getting smashed. And it made them look real ordinary too. And so that was Otago's best. I thought that was their best game, even though they beat Southland before. I still think that was probably their best game. Now, obviously, their worst game. It wasn't even that Southland game. It was the one against John McGleish where they lost 17-15. Now, I'm not saying that John McGleish ain't good, because they are. But at the same time, I still thought Otago boys should have had them on there. I still think Otago boys should have showed up and not even smash them, but they should have won. Like, I knew it was going to be a close game. I just didn't think that John McGleish would win. And I just think, Otago probably dropped the ball on that one. But that was, to me, by far their worst game this year. So for next year, and like I know that they have a good amount of players returning back, which is cool. And with Otago boys, and it's just like most of the boys' schools, is that like even if you don't have a lot of first 15 players coming back, you always know that they have something going in the second 15. You know that they always have guys in the second 15 that are sort of good enough to be first 15 anyway. I think Abraham Paul is one of the guys coming back as a prop. I think he's coming back. James Holland is coming back for sure. Lane is coming back. Burns Mills can actually come back as well. Whether he will or not, I don't know, but he can actually come back. It'll be massive if Burns came back. Tavita Asi will be back, and even Adrian. I think Adrian's coming back too. And so they'll have like a good amount of players coming back. I think Tain Tafata's coming back too. I think he is, yeah. I think he's another player. So like even with all these players coming back, they'll be really good. But they do have some young guys coming through. And some of the young guys that I've been hearing about, and that I sort of know a little bit about, like there's a kid named Max Brown, who's coming through, who's a centre fullback, and he's going to be one of those kids that I think was going to be one of those year 11s. He's only year 10 this year. He might be one of those guys that ends up in the first 15 as a year 11 kid, so sort of watch out for him. And there's a Lucy coming through named Nick Washington is the other one. So, yeah, and he was a Lucy. I'm not too sure if I think he might be an open side, but, even if he starts on blind side or, works his way through, like, he's another one. So look out for those guys. I mean, Tavita Asi's the only year 11 that was in one of the year 11s, or only the year 11s that was in there this year, and he'll be coming back for sure. Hopefully at second 5. Hopefully he gets into second 5. But I think Sam Jones is still coming back as well, which will be good. And so he'll be in the midfield as well with... hopefully with Sione, and just see what happens. Midge is coming back too. So yeah, we see what happens. But have a look out for Max Brown and also Nick Washington, and see what happens with these guys. I still think that they're going to have a really good year next year, and it's always just going to be one of those things. And as long as Ryan Martin keeps producing and finding all these top players and bringing them through the system, they're always going to be good and they're always going to be competitive. Always a team that you would want to play in pre-season to sort of test yourselves out and see what you got as well. Next year, I'm not too sure where I'm placing them next year. Just from the eye test and just a quick look and overview of it, I'm looking at it maybe a 15. Somewhere from 10 to 15, maybe as low as 17, but still heavily in the top 20. They're always just a team that's always going to be there. They're always going to be competitive. And so we'll see where that ends up. But I'm sure they're going to have a strong team coming back. And as I do more homework and find out about more players that come through, I'll have a clearer idea of who's coming back and what they're going to be like next year, maybe early February or so. So like, keep an eye out for them. Obies is always the one that you want to see and that you want to sort of measure yourself up to. So it's going to be good. That's my review for 2016 for Obies, the boys from down south. Keep an eye out for them. Peace.